He's sick. He is really, genuinely a sick person that somehow has been allowed into our system.
You're not going to intimidate. That's what Trump does, to try to intimidate. We have to fight back.
It's funny, I was just thinking that he actually became president. He could have done good things. Instead, he had to do it all wrong.
Picture this. Robert De Niro, the tough guy from Goodfellas, is shaking in his boots. But it's not the mob he's worried about. It's a guy with a bad spray tan and a Twitter addiction. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. De Niro claims he's actually scared for his safety because of his Trump criticism. Is this just celebrity drama, or is there something more sinister at play? Let's dive into why one of Hollywood's toughest is sounding the alarm.
We've heard you talk about the former president. You have called him a fraud, a con artist. You've said he's a New Yorker like you, and you have watched this brand of BS.
We're trying to do it. We're trying to be gentlemen in this world.
I think of how absurd it is. And this might be the one case where that could be it for him. It's a state case.
Remember when Robert De Niro was just the tough guy in movies? Well, now he's trying to be the tough guy in real life, and his target is none other than Donald Trump. It's like he's auditioning for a new role. Taxi Driver 2, MAGA Madness. De Niro's been yelling about Trump for years, but for a while, nobody really cared. It was just another celebrity with an opinion, right? But something's changed. Our Bobby D isn't just angry anymore, he's scared. And when the guy who played Jake LaMotta is scared, maybe we should pay attention. Now, De Niro's insults have evolved faster than Trump's excuses for his tweets. He's gone from calling Trump a punk and a dog to labeling him a sociopathic, psychopathic, malignant narcissist. Woo! Did De Niro swallow a thesaurus or what? It's like he's playing insult Mad Libs with a psychology textbook. But here's the kicker. De Niro's not just throwing fancy words around. He's been getting more and more specific about why he thinks Trump is dangerous. At the 2018 Tony Awards, he even dropped the F-bomb while denouncing Trump. Talk about a showstopper. It's like he's trying to win an Oscar for best performance in a political rant. And get this, De Niro's used 37 different insults to describe Trump. That's more variations than Baskin-Robbins has flavors. But unlike ice cream, these insults are getting more bitter over time. It's not just name-calling anymore, it's a full-on character assassination. De Niro's been showing up at Trump's trial like he's preparing for a sequel to Cape Fear. But instead of terrorizing a lawyer, he's trying to terrify us about Trump. He's gone from viewing Trump as a joke in 2016 to seeing him as a serious threat. It's like watching a comedian realize halfway through a set that their heckler is actually armed. But here's where it gets real. De Niro claims Trump could destroy the world. Now that's a pretty big claim. Is he just being dramatic, or should we be worried? It's hard to tell if this is the plot of a new disaster movie or a real concern from a guy who's seen his fair share of movie villains. You'd think after years of hosting The Apprentice, Trump would have learned how to fire back with style. But his comebacks for De Niro sound like they came from a preschool playground. Is the master of "you're fired" losing his touch? Let's dive into the Trump insult factory and see what's cooking. First up, we've got Trump's special nickname for De Niro, Punchy. Real creative there, Donnie. Did you stay up past your bedtime for that one? It's like he's trying to be clever, but his brain got stuck in first gear. Maybe he was going for a boxing reference, but it just lands like a weak jab in a pillow fight. But wait, there's more. Trump's not content with just one lame insult. He's got a whole buffet of bland burns. He claims De Niro's movies aren't worth much anymore. Yeah, because The Irishman was such a flop, right? Trump sarcastically quipped that the best they can do is roll out a washed-up actor. Ouch, Donnie. That might sting if it wasn't coming from a guy whose biggest acting role was pretending to be a successful businessman. And here's where it gets really rich. Trump suggests De Niro has Trump derangement syndrome. Because disagreeing with Trump must mean you're crazy, right? It's like he's got a magic mirror that turns every criticism into a reflection of how awesome he thinks he is. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the most stable genius of them all? But here's the kicker. Trump's insults are melting faster than his spray tan in a sauna. Is he losing his touch? His go-to move of calling De Niro a wacko is about as cutting-edge as a butter knife. It's the political equivalent of, I know you are, but what am I? The thing is, Trump's insult game used to be his secret weapon. He'd sling zingers like Crooked Hillary and Lion Ted, and his base would eat it up like it was the last hamburger at a White House buffet. But now, it's like watching a once great boxer throw weak punches at his own shadow. What's really telling is how Trump's responding to De Niro's jabs. Instead of tackling the actual criticisms, he's just tossing out weak personal attacks. It's like he's playing verbal whack-a-mole, but all he's got is a foam noodle. So folks, it looks like De Niro's not just shouting at clouds anymore. He's actually telling us to wake up and smell the democracy burning. Who knew the guy from Taxi Driver would be driving us towards political awareness? But here's the kicker. De Niro's not just ranting about Trump's bad hair day. He's pushing us to get involved in the real issues. As he put it, people are fed up. They're going to fight back. That's not what we're about in this country. Maybe it's time we change the channel on this reality show called America's Next Top Tyrant and focus on the boring stuff, like healthcare and climate change. After all, if we wanted to watch rich guys yelling at each other, we'd just tune into a Real Housewives reunion. At least there, the drama's fake and nobody's trying to set the Constitution on fire.